So hi, welcome. My name is Miro. I'm the founder of Manifest X and the creator of the Generational Worth Workshop. Let's go. Beyond stoked and excited to be with all of you, and I get to make some acknowledgements. Thank you for being here. I acknowledge you for finding a ride share, finding a babysitter, canceling plans last minute to be here today. Braving LA traffic is not a light thing. So I acknowledge you guys, all of you, for doing that, and I don't take it for granted. This is your lifetime. You're contributing your most valuable resource to be here today, so thank you. And acknowledge Jesse for putting up with me in my lack of knowledge of audiovisual technology. Let's give it up for Jesse, everybody. So, I'm noticing if you need more chairs, we'll get more chairs, because I know we have one chair here. I'll make sure we fill up all of the chairs. Business class. That's the VIP workshop. This is general admission. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So let's go do this. We did acknowledgements, and we're going to do kind of the why we're here thing. Yeah, why this workshop? So what is generational worth? Most people have never heard of it. The word didn't exist, but you may have heard of generational wealth. Who's heard of that by show of hands? Okay. What is generational wealth? Let's talk about it. Yeah, it can be that, absolutely. Inheritance.
Of anything, not just money, mindset, mentality, lifestyle. Breaking away from it.
Yeah, we're getting into something. It's not just wealth, it's the mindset and more of that. Go ahead, Ira.
It just continues from generation to generation. It's passed on from parents to children to their grandchildren, on and on.
Absolutely.
Generally, when you think of generational wealth, people always think about, yes, inheritance, but they think about like, okay, grandmother property, great-grandmother, and you might not even want to live in that old house. But and then the war with the family, because the little one just want to sell it because they want the money, and the older one want to live in it. So when the grandparents died, and everybody was warring over the generational wealth, this house got to go because we need the money. Think about the generational wealth sometimes, when the generation, that really great-grand and great-great-grand, close their eyes, it sometimes goes away because, somebody's going to either like, okay, we don't need it. And then, it's like dissolved. But the bottom line is, some of it cannot be sold, or like in the Caribbean, it's really generational. Great-great-great-great-grand. The little land is there, but there's no house on it. When the land still belongs to us.
Yes, absolutely. And say your name, please. What's your name again?
Patricia.
Let's give it up for Patricia. I think we're going to have a good time. This is a good start. Absolutely. So I hear one more. Okay, Berta.
The wisdom of the ages as well.
Yes, absolutely. That's powerful. The wisdom of the ages. You want to say more about that?
In some cultures, it's just a given. In certain African nations, they don't even have a word for nursing home. Because the village does raise a child. And then I think there's a French word, vigierot, which is a storyteller that goes from one generation to the other.
Beautiful. And what's your name again?
Berta.
Let's give it up for Berta, everybody. Absolutely great shares. I know there's more, and I love the enthusiasm. Let's go ahead and talk about the difference between generational wealth and generational worth. Because generational worth is about the fact that abundance is an inside job. Generational worth is about becoming the kind of person that says, I might not come from a healthy, wealthy family, but a healthy, wealthy family comes from me. And that's what this workshop is about. So who's excited about that? Beautiful. So I get to share with you my personal experience with generational wealth, with generational worth, and the lack of both. This always gets edgy every time. I was born in Germany, and my experience growing up was, son of a black man, African American, that I didn't know. I've never met my dad, and a white mother, German mom, who did the best that she could. She was a widow. She's a healer and a psychologist, and dealt with her own mental health challenges. And she was a widow as well. Her father, my grandfather, was a Nazi in Germany. So my experience growing up was, were they proud that their daughter had a black baby out of wedlock with a black man? No, they weren't. So my experience as a kid was I was not black enough, not German enough. I didn't belong anywhere. I didn't fit in. Nobody looked like me where I grew up. And the story I made up was that I was a mistake, that I'm unwanted, and I'm not good enough. Can anyone relate to that? Yeah. Actually, keep your hand up, please, and look around. Can anyone relate to not feeling good enough, not belonging, isolating? Look around. Look at the hands up. Yeah. So I knew this isn't just me. But for some reason, we live life that I'm the only one who's having this problem. No one gets me. And that was my experience growing up. And this lack of worthiness, it's interesting how it trickled down. My grandfather, great-grandfather, was actually a kind man, right? He was born in the Great Depression. One of 8 brothers, one of his little brothers died during the Great Depression of starvation. So they grew up in poverty. But he was digging trenches as a teenager. That was his first job. And as he became older, he became an architect, engineer, and he built wealth over many years with hard work and all of the things that it takes. And so he ended up having a big real estate portfolio, just like Pat was sharing earlier. And my mom didn't want to have anything to do with it. She had a terrible relationship with him. She felt that all the time that he was spending on working and making the money was time away from taking care of her. And she experienced a lack of love, a lack of presence, and didn't want to have a relationship with her father. And so when all of the real estate was supposed to transfer from that generation, which his intentions was to, he had the will, the contracts, and all the paperwork in place for it to go on, but it didn't go on. There's a lack of relationship. And so my experience as a child was unwanted, not good enough, and I grew up in financial scarcity. We didn't know a lot of times, like many healers, unfortunately, where it's going to come from. And I think that's a shame. When there was so much love and effort put into passing it on and it stopped. So when I was a kid, I was looking for belonging, worthiness in all the wrong places. All the wrong places. I thought it was going to be cool, like a gangster. It'd be cool to be part of a gang, I was really looking up into like hip-hop culture, movies, and rap music. I thought Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg were my heroes. I thought they're amazing. I would be cool like them. I thought maybe I can just sell a little weed and be a gangster. That'd be fun. So I moved from rural Germany to like the Kentucky of Germany type area. I know. From there to move to Hamburg, Germany, which is like the Chicago of Germany. I was like, cool, new friends, let's smoke a little weed, sell a little weed, this will be fun. And it turned out I was too friendly to be a gangster. I just wanted to be friends with everybody. I was more like Deepak Shakur. Till I had a moment, wake-up moment. You ever had like one of those light bulb moments or rug is being pulled from under you type moments where you're just like, wake up, it's different now. Yep, had one of those. I was 17. I had my own apartment, seven-story building, little studio. I had 8 gang members, like actual killers, come into my apartment. Kick in my door, beat me up, had a black eye and a broken nose. They stole all my stash, all my cash. I didn't realize what was going on. It was some kind of trafficking ring. And they pushed me at the edge of a balcony and said that if I wasn't going to sell cocaine for them, they were going to throw me off. Yeah. That night I was in my little bed and my door was broken. Black eye, broken nose. It was pitch black. And I felt so alone and afraid. And every time the elevator would go up, ding, I was thinking, no, they're coming back. They're coming back to finish me this time. So that was a moment of waking up. Because it was in that moment that I decided I'm going to change my life. It was that moment that I created the original decision of generational worth. Because in that moment, I didn't just decide to not be a gang member anymore. I decided to follow my dreams. And even however impossible it seemed, despite all the evidence that I didn't have, that I could do it. My childhood dream was to go to America one day. It's funny now because I'm in America now. But at that time, it felt as impossible as going to Pluto. The things that you require as a foreigner, an immigrant, in a random country in the world, to go to America, live here, and have a full living, it is not something you just wake up to do. It is difficult. Any immigrants in the house know about this? Yeah. You don't just like go online and pick up your visa. It doesn't work that way. So for some people, it's a 15-year wait and then get denied. And that's normal. In my case, I didn't have citizenship. I didn't have a scholarship or a proper education. I didn't have any relationships. I didn't know anybody in America. No mentorship, no ships. I was shipless. No ships at all. But in that moment that I decided I'm going to follow my dreams, it was the culmination of, I've been studying English since I was in 2nd grade. I've always wanted, it was a dream. I've imagined it, visualized it, watching all the hip-hop videos, like, LBC, that's going to be me. And I was committed. I was going to figure it out. One day I'm going to America. People laughed at me. I was in a small town, rural Germany, right? So people laughed at me like, are you not going to America? You live in freaking Kentucky of Germany. It was as impossible as going to Pluto. But here's the thing. I made that decision in a moment of my rock bottom elevator moment. I'm in this room and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change my life. And I threw away my SIM card. You remember SIM cards where you have like all your contacts? I wrote down 2 phone numbers. It was my mother and my brother. And everyone else, I literally threw my SIM card in the trash. None of those people were a part of my vision. I need to cut. And then I said, what I didn't know how, but I was committed. Like whatever it takes, I'm going to America. And I went back to the US Embassy in Berlin. I told them, I'm leaving gang life. I'm going to America. I don't have papers yet. And somebody finally listened. And it was the head of the US Embassy in Berlin. She granted me birthright citizenship, acknowledging that I had always been an American. I got a scholarship. I had a billionaire philanthropist invest in me, believe in me and invest in me, $25,000 at the time. I felt like $25 million. Giving me opportunity to go to university and get educated in America. I had a mentor, that's the scholarship, citizenship. I had a mentor. The craziest thing happened. Once I was all in, I was committed. I had, you remember payphones, anybody? Thick German accent, I barely spoke English. I'm calling a random phone number, a random charity in America. And I'm telling them, I'm leaving gang life. I'm going to America. I don't have papers yet, but it's coming. and maybe I can exchange, my time, work stay. So like I exchange my time in exchange for housing and food. I'll do whatever you want. That was my creative way to go to America. And I thought the person on the other line said, that's crazy. And I think they're hanging up on me because I'm a stranger on a payphone with a thick accent, asking what I'm asking. And he said, no, that's crazy because I was already planning to go to Hamburg, Germany in the next 2 weeks to visit a former volunteer who did exactly what you want to do. So what were the odds of that? The person I was talking to was Brad Graves. He was my first ever mentor. And he was the kind of guy that he was mugged at gunpoint by 16-year-olds in Wyandotte County, which is the Compton of Kansas, okay? Yeah. But he was mugged at gunpoint, and instead of calling the police and pressing charges, he started an after-school program to get kids off the street. He was on a mission to disrupt the prison pipeline. And I resonate with that. He showed up in my hometown 2 weeks later in Hamburg, and he showed me pictures of the kids that he was working with. They looked like me. And he was saying gangs are recruiting, domestic abuse, substance abuse, violence, all of these things, all the things that I experienced myself. And he said they need role models like you. I was like, me? If all this pain I had gone through can make a difference in one other person, it'll all be worth it. And I realized some things in that moment. Let's fast forward. I'm in America, $50 in my pocket, 18 years old. It's ready to live the dream. I had a chance to meet these kids that I saw in the pictures before in the classroom. And I saw the same issues, poverty, mindset. And I could see all of the things, but from a distance, I was like, oh, I know what they need. They need education. They need education to break the cycle of poverty. But for me to give it to them, I had to become educated first. So I went all in on developing myself. I wasn't just going to school to get a degree. I was like, I'm going to develop myself. I was doing all the things, reading the books. Before you know it, I was graduating college, which before was never university material, they said, right? And I went to college. First community college in Kansas, okay? UMKC after that, University of Missouri in Kansas City. Became a certified teacher with Cambridge University. At 19, youngest teacher that was having a thick accent still, but teaching other people how to speak English. And I became a success. Ended up working for Fortune 500 companies, keep getting promoted, and I really reached a pinnacle of success that I never imagined. I got to fast forward 2018. I had the life, I had the wife, corporate hotshot. But I was still looking for worthiness in all the wrong places. I was looking for proving it, finding worth in the title, in the validation from women, and people-pleasing. And I ended up in the hardest time of my life. In 2018, went through divorce. I lost my job. Really started to have I remember one time, bad thoughts, okay? One time I was driving down it was the Heart of America Bridge in Kansas. It is overlooking the Missouri River. It looks kind of green. I was to my right. I was so stressed out from work. I remember I was feeling like Aquaman trying to lift Thor's hammer. It's like, why is this so hard? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not worthy. So I was stressed out at work, stressed out at home, and I didn't want to be anywhere. So I was thinking about maybe I'll drive into this river or into this, semi-truck. There's a red truck coming up. And I remember thinking that thought, but I caught it. I had awareness. Say awareness. Awareness. Yeah, it's going to be really important later. I had the awareness to say, okay, I don't want to live my life that way. It's like that wake-up moment, that elevator moment. And I didn't know how, but I made a decision. I want to change it. And I just prayed to God. I wasn't really a believer in God at the time. I just was desperate. I said, God, help. And God showed up. You ever had one of those moments where like an earth angel shows up, like a person is like, you must be sent from God or something. That happened. I had my first ever life coach showed up in my life. He's an energy healer and NLP practitioner and mindset coach. And he helped me realize in my relationship what was wrong. It was not all of them. It wasn't that the job wasn't good enough and the partner wasn't good enough and all of this stuff. It was actually my own belief system. And the toxins that were coming up in relationship wasn't that it was a toxic relationship, it was more so revealing the toxins that were inside of me. And I had the opportunity to own it and rewrite the script of what's possible for me. And I went all in. Again, personal development. It's like, wait, you're doing that for a living? That's what I want to do. And I read all the books, 80 books in 6 months. I learned speed reading and whatever I needed to do to develop myself. Because I'd forgotten somewhere along the way. Sometimes we need those reminders, right? To wake up. And where before I was like Aquaman, trying to lift Thor's hammer, and I felt like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. I'm starting to find these tools of transformation. And I'm realizing that's my gift. I'm Aquaman, and transformation is my trident. And my life started to shift in a beautiful way. My son is 2 years old right now. Well, at the time, going through the hardest time, Elliot was 2 years old. He's 10 years old now. And if you ever met him, you know. He's a ball of energy. Highly confident, self-expressed. He's got none of the I'm not good enough, nobody likes me ideas. This kid. Elliot is the kind of kid who, he came to a Speakeasy Mastermind. Some of you know I facilitate the Speakeasy Mastermind. It's like a room where adults get intimidated because of the caliber of people in the room. It's like visionary entrepreneurs. And he came, because I was missing a babysitter. That's why he came. But he was participating, He came and he was participating, he was sharing, and he wanted everyone to listen to his music. I was like, you can't just play your music. Like, they have to agree to it. And he enrolled everyone. He told everyone, like, I'm a music producer, and I'm going to play my new song after this. And he had everyone playing his music afterwards. And people were rapping to his music, and he created that on his own. There's one particular moment, and this is why this is important. How is this relevant to generational worth? I'll tell you this. He's in kindergarten, he's 5 years old. Any parents in the house, by the way? What's up, parents? When you drop off your kid at school for the first time, that's tough. You walk away like, are you going to be okay without me? Sorry for another day. There was one moment in pre-K, he was 5, and he was playing, and he broke his toy. He broke his toy, and he was crying. He was just crying because his toy broke. He's 5. It's normal. The teacher came, and he said, teacher told him, why are you crying? Like, why are you sad? Stop crying. And he said, I'm allowed to feel my feelings. Yeah, exactly. So that's the power of generational worth. Yeah, the things that I had the opportunity to create awareness around, take responsibility of, and choose differently about. Those are the things that he no longer has to deal with. And that's the opportunity for each of us and all of us. Because as we are taking ownership of our own story, we can completely rewrite the script and have the next generation experience something completely different. And it's not only for parents. Some of you, we talked about this on the phone. We'll go deeper into this in a moment. Generational worth is an effect that you have when you heal within yourself, you find it in the collective. And I believe that the more we do that inner work and healing, we will change the world. 100%. And generational worth starts with you. Yeah. It starts with you. Because generational worth starts with your self-worth. Seeing some head nods. Good. Okay. So that's where we're going with this workshop. Generational worth means being the kind of person that says, I may not come from a healthy, wealthy family, but a healthy, wealthy family comes from whom? That's right. It comes from me. So, the way we get the value of generational worth. What does it look like when you embody your own self-worth and you break through those voices and you start having awareness, responsibility, and choose something different? It means in your career, whether it's in your business, whether it's like undercharging and overgiving, being busy all of the time and sacrificing your life force just to sort of make money or please people, right? You're able to shift out of that and start owning your worth. Setting a price and meaning it. Attracting clients that are actually healthy for you and have boundaries where maybe you don't work 6 and 7 days a week. It means instead of overthinking it in dating and relationship where you get into your head and like wonder if nobody likes you, you start breathing, getting into your body, relaxing, trusting, connecting with people authentically and sharing your needs. It means that instead of worrying about other people being well all the time and constantly caring about others to the point that you sacrifice your own well-being, you start being able to say no. And choose yourself. It also means that instead of bulldozing people and getting your way, my way, or the highway and end up in arguments and fighting and why you never listen to me, you have to relax and surrender and connect with people. That's the value of generational worth. So who's excited about that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that's where we're going. How are we getting there? Well, first we're going to have some ground rules. Okay. So ground rules are real simple. First of all, confidentiality. You can share about your experience, right? So I can say, I had a wonderful time. I learned this and that about myself. I shared this. I ate this food. That's all fair game. Tell the whole world about that, okay? Tell how you felt about it and all of the things. Please do. And we're not going to tell about what Errol said, what Errol did. Does that make sense? So that everyone, you get to own your own experience and share it with as many people as you want. Please, tell the world, because we want to have more people experience generational worth. And you get to choose what you share, if that makes sense. So confidentiality means don't share about other people's stuff. Is that clear? Can we all agree to that by show of hands? Cool. Welcome. Do you need a chair, Kim? Do you need a chair? We have a seat in the splash zone. Okay. Come on. What's your name, brother?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. Oh, you're Jeremiah.
That's me.
Hell yeah, I'm glad you made it, King.
Thank you, bud.
We talked on the phone.
We talked on the phone.
I'm so glad you're here, brother. Yeah. All right, so what's the first ground rule? Confidentiality. See, they're paying attention. All right. So the second thing is, some people say safe space. We're going to call it brave space.
Brave space.
Yes, everybody say brave space.
Brave space.
Brave space means, what do you think that means? What does that mean?
Space to be brave.
Yes.
To take a risk.
Yes.
Outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. I heard be vulnerable. Absolutely. Confident. Yes, absolutely. You got it. It's brave space. It's an opportunity to have that. And how's that different from safe space? It's not an opportunity to lean back and just watch and see what they're going to do to me. This is not Netflix. This is an opportunity, right? It's not. It might be entertaining, hopefully, but it's meant to, the opportunity is for it to shift the trajectory of your life and many others. So let's treat it that way, yeah? Cool. Safe space, brave space. A third ground rule, we'll save that one for last. I will say about confidentiality, we do have a camera running. I want to acknowledge that. The camera is recording me. The purpose of that is for my training purposes. I might, if you do a really good job, might repurpose this content to support other people. I will make sure that I don't publish anything that you share here unless you explicitly give me, permission, consent to do that. So the camera's running, I'm recording, and it's what I'm saying right now. And I want to have your consent about using that for my purposes. Is that cool? Yeah. Okay, cool. Does anybody have any questions or issues with that? Amazing. And if you do, please come talk to me, okay? All right, so we covered that. And then the fun one. So my favorite ground rule, some of you know my favorite ground rule. It's called playing full out. Say, play full out.
Play full out.
What does playing full out mean? Sure, but let's pretend it's not. Go ahead, Richard.
Essentially, where you hold nothing back when you're answering a question, a prompt, how you show up in breakouts, conversation. Bring the fullness of yourself to whatever it is that you invite us to engage.
Yeah. What's your name again?
King Richard the Lionheart.
That's right. Let's give it up for King Richard the Lionheart. Okay, perfect. Playing full out is that. And it's also raising your hand, being the first up there. If there's ever an opportunity to come up here and say something, be the first to be that person, right? And so if we're gonna be in dyads, sharing with each other, share that thing that you don't want to say. What I don't want you to know about me is, go there, literally. So playing full out means whatever your next edge is, where normally you're that person that sits in the back just watches things, be the first person up here. Whatever your edge is, okay? Clear? All right. So that's playing full out. If we agree to all of the ground rules, go ahead and raise your hand and say aye. 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 Okay. If you have a question or you didn't just raise your hand, please out yourself and ask. Question? What's up?
Can I leave early?
Oh, great question. So one of the rules is also 100% participation. So we planted that. So 100% participation and full transparency. This is part of my leadership program for the PhD with MITT. And part of my requirement is to have 25 attendees that stay for the whole time of the workshop. We will end at 9:30 or more so 9:45 now. Queen Ale, will you verify? 10:07, precisely. And my commitment to you, it's going to be all killer, no filler, okay? We're here. So can I count on you to play full out the whole way? Yes? Is there any questions about that? It's really important. I mean. Yeah? Yeah?
9:30, I was planning 9:30.
You're playing 9:30? Okay, cool. Let's check in closer to that time and see what possibilities we can create to make sure we're in excellence with our commitment to, or else maybe that obligation can be an opportunity for expansion.
Maybe so. All right, I'm open to the concept.
Like.
You're so precise with your times on the other things, so I counted on 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
You say 9:30, I buy 9:30. That's
Yeah.
all.
I appreciate that. Normally, I'm right there. And going forward, you can count on me to be right there again.
I told someone. He stops exactly at the time he says.
I always do, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. Well, thank you all. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to get started with the first distinction. So there's where we're going and how we're getting to the amazing value that generational worth is through a 3-step process. So this workshop is comprised of 3 distinct parts. And those 3 distinct parts is your tool, a practical tool that you can use every single day in your life to go from lack of self-worth conversations within yourself to embodied self-worth. Cool? So the first part of this workshop is about awareness. Say awareness.
Awareness.
When I have awareness. Awareness that, my story, that elevator moment where you're noticing, something needs to be different. How great would it be to have that without your entire life falling apart, right? Without the universe pulling the rug from under you. What if you could just have awareness because you choose to be? That's easier, right? So that's awareness. The second part of this workshop is going to be responsibility. Say responsibility.
Responsibility.
You get to own it. That's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to cover that, have an experience with responsibility. The third part of today's workshop is about choice. Say choice. Choice is as easy as choosing something different. That's when you shift to trajectory forever. So, who's excited about that? Amazing. Awesome. So we can dive right into our first set of exercises. When we talk about awareness, which I said we would start with, and yes, you have journals underneath your chair. You don't need to pick them up now, but there will be a moment that they'll become relevant. We're going to play a little game. That's what we're going to do. In a moment, I'm going to have you set up with a dyad. So you're going to have chairs facing each other. We'll set it up. We can see an example of it. And you're going to share some prompts. Some of you know what the dyad is. That's great. So we're going to share some prompts. And essentially, I'm going to tell you what you're going to tell that person. And that person is going to receive it. And you're going to create some awareness. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so in fact, we're going to do an example. Can I have maybe the two of you stand up, please? I want to demonstrate with the two of you what a dyad looks like. I'd like for you to take the chairs and have some kind of pointing towards each other so that you're basically knee to knee. So let me take a look at this. This is great. Awesome. So you're basically in the intimate zone right now. You're going to have eye contact, right? And one of you is going to be partner A, and one of you is going to be partner B. Partner A, raise your hand. Awesome. Partner B, you're going to go first. See? They don't like that, but I like it. So partner A, your job is to listen. You're going to be the level of listener where for you, this is an opportunity to practice. For you, this is an opportunity to practice presence. She wasn't listening. She did that on purpose. You rascal. Okay, so for you, it's going to be an opportunity to practice holding loving space and really absorbing what this person is telling you. So that by the end of his share, you're able to repeat back, not just repeat back verbatim what he's saying, but more so almost like a journalist who gets the headline of the article that was just being shared. You're able to summarize what he shared with you better almost than he can say it himself. Yeah? So that's the level of listening you get to practice being partner A. Cool? Now, partner B, you're going to have a prompt, and you're going to share where I have placed my worth is. Where I have placed my worth is. So it's like where I've placed my worth is validation from women. Where I've placed my worth is getting paid, getting promotions. Where I've placed my worth is whatever that is true for you. Okay? You're just gonna where I've placed my worth is. It's not gonna be an overthinking. Just let it flow. Okay? Cool. Got it. So this is what you're all going to look like with your partner. And we might have an uneven number. And so that's okay because we're going to have some support staff. If you don't have a partner, you're going to raise your hand and we're going to match you up. Okay? So everybody gets to play. And so we're going to do that for 2 minutes of sharing over here, 2 minutes of sharing, and then 1 minute of what I heard you say. What I heard you say is, what I heard you say is, what I heard you say is. And we're going to have an experience, and then we're going to share about our experience. Cool? Okay, so go ahead and pair up.
Would you like to pair up?
Yeah.
Why not?
We're here.